Hello, everyone on the YouTubes, where I believe we may be streaming live now, which is really cool and freaky.
Oh my goodness, I'll go and check.
Yes, go and check and see if we're, and on Twitch, obviously, and on watching us later in places as well, because that's lovely. And thank you for coming on our journey. I'm a little bit excited, which people have noted already, because we're starting a brand new campaign, which is super exciting. It's a campaign that John and I have devised together, but the intention is for everyone else to get to play in this world that we're all creating together.
And DM.
And
right?
so I meant DM. Yes, we're play as in take our toys and manipulate them, as in dungeon master in this world. Yeah, that's right. So everyone will be having a go. There's a bit of kind of not much knowledge of the players about how it starts or what the heck's happening, but the idea is to kind of to release all that information in the first few sessions. Just super cool. And I hope we have some amazing plans, John and I, which is super fun. That said, poor John isn't here tonight because he's down in the and so he's taking a break. So so we're thinking of you, John, and missing you, but very thankful that we're getting to play with your toys of your crazy brain.
Which is a bit of fun.
Which is a bit of fun. Why don't people just introduce themselves, but not their characters, and then we'll basically get stuck into it. Nathan, we'll go clockwise for Nathan.
Just remember the typing is very loud on here.
Sorry.
So, my name's Nathan. I am been playing D&D online for about, 10 years?
Wow, really?
Yeah, 10, 15 years, I think, since, recorded D&D. So I've got proof. And I'm still terrible. I don't think I wrote over a 15 the entire time. And I think I in terms of remaining consistent, I'm pretty bloody consistent. Unless you need to roll low, and then I roll really high. So
that's right. That's right.
But yeah, that's me.
Murray.
I'm Murray. I'm basically we joined. That was Ben and John and I. We were the Dice Stormers to start way back in 2010. About now, a little bit earlier, June 2010, we started playing D&D, and then Nathan came along, and then Johnny came along, and then Derek came along, and we all. You don't know who they are yet because they haven't introduced themselves. Wait, yes, we're been playing D&D and all sorts of other role-playing games, enjoying them all in all aspects of the hobby.
Yeah, wonderful. Except being able to be together, which we're not at the moment, because Sydney is very much in lockdown, tragically.
Indeed.
I think you beat me by 1 week, Murray. So it was it's 10 years and 1 week. If I was to put it out there,
Did you see that Olympic gold medal? 1/100th of a second is still second, dude.
That's right.
And I'm never going to be able to catch up. It's it's a consistent thing as it's time.
No.
The twin, the royal prince who came out second.
That's it.
Johnny, before I get more explicit about childbirth.
Yeah, good idea. I'm Johnny. I think I've been playing for one less week than Nathan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm actually really excited as well tonight, not just Ben. I think it's gonna be fun.
Nice. Yay! Very, very cool.
So what are we starting this? I've been playing D&D since when? Based on when we joined the Dice Stormers, or
no?
Well, yeah.
There was no history. There was no BDS. There's DS and there's BDS, but BDS doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
So are you saying you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons longer than having been in the Dice Stormers? Is that what
I've been playing since this?
Woo! Yeah. Woo!
But yeah, I'm definitely the youngest of the Dice Stormers.
I see. Not. Okay, I get it.
But no, I've been playing. I think since 2016 is when I joined you guys. So about 6 years, and man, have we seen some amazing adventures since then. So really excited to be starting a new one here tonight that we're all going to get our grubby little mitts on.
Yes, it's going to be all of ours. My name's Ben. Yes, I received the red box when we were on holidays at Smiths Lake. You can look it up, Smith Lake, on the north coast of New South Wales, camping. And there's that. Open it up, rub the crayon in my dice. It was, and those illustrations in that red box and that run your own adventure thing was amazing. And I've been playing. I took a break at the end of high school and then got back into it kind of late 20s.
I love the crayon. And for me, it's just such a weird thing, but it's so tactile. I don't think we get that anymore, you know what I mean? Like you had to you know what I mean? It's like painting miniatures. It's kind of like the D&D equivalent essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the unsung casualty of role-playing box sets.
Yes.
Oh, it's got dice, it's got maps. Like, but where's the crayon? The crayon is the only thing we don't remember from the...
Don't mess with me. I need the crayon or nothing.
There's no similarities between pressing the roll dice on D20 on D&D Beyond, is there?
No, but you tell that to the young people, and it's like, getting your first album isn't the same as buying a download. It's like, it's not the same. But they just don't believe you.
And in chat, we've got people who have been talking about how long they've been watching us for. Their history with us.
Woo!
Ooh.
That's super cool.
Watching the dice store.
Watch James since gone hunting. That was awesome. Yes. Wow.
That was early.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird that they remember the first Dice Stormers adventure that they watched.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just where Murray
is
facing. If Murray were to turn around and face the other way, that would be where that was filmed.
Quite an awkward conversation, though, to remind us of how old we are if that happens.
Oh, can I just
wait? What?
I like being the old man of D&D online. We can go back in the day. We used to play
Yeah, analog cameras and no microphones.
And what was it? We had the 180-degree rule that we stuffed up for a while there.
Yeah.
And a whole We've all gone on our different
We've
tech
learned
paths.
all those things.
Coolies. Okay, right. I'm going to trigger the adventure. You ready for it?
Oh, is there a fun button?
I'm going to push go on our story.
This is exciting.
Yay! Your nose and ears are filled with inky, thick darkness. The world is lost to you. You hold your breath, but for how long? Are you sliding? It's hard to tell. Where is the light? Lost to you. You're desperate to breathe. You thrash against the liquid that surrounds you. Is there no escape? Just as your lungs threaten to explode, just as you're about to draw the terrible blackness into your desperate lungs, suddenly you slip out into free space. You tumble. Wheeling arms struggle to stabilize the fall, and then you hit the ground. Or does the ground hit you? Or is it a blast of air that pummels you? Blackness no longer fills your ears, but sound. Explosions everywhere. Wood splinters cutting your skin. Fire burning your flesh. Horror clamping your soul. And then beams and branches and stones tumbling in on you. And then silence and pain and cold. You all feel the weight of stuff on top of you. For a couple of you, it's wood beams splintered. For one of you, it's branches crashed down, and one is tumbled under rocks. We can run this all simultaneously. What do you all do? You're not together, but what do you all do?
I thrash.
You thrash? Excellent.
I try to get it off me and claw at my face as well. I try to clear my eyes and my nose of this gunk.
Excellent. So there's no gunk. There's no black ickiness. The ickiness that surrounded you was maybe a dream. Maybe you're having some kind of episode. This is the same for all of you. You're sensing this. You seem to just be mainly cold, definitely cut and sort of getting like is your flesh burnt? It stings like you've taken a fire to it. You thrash, and some of the beams that are lying on you scatter off, and then you're blasted with the cold air. Nathan?
I'm trying to find stone. Like, am I close to the ground? Am I I'm trying to stabilize where is down and where is up, and why? Yeah,
so let's say you're under some stone, and you push up, and the grout that used to hold these stones together tumbles out on you, and one of the rocks falls off your back and scratches down and bashes your thigh, your left thigh bone, as it tumbles to the ground. But then you take this breath, this big sudden breath, and chilly, freezing, we're saying 0 degrees centigrade, 30 degree Fahrenheit air fills your lungs. But
Like
at least
that.
it's not inky blackness.
So it's like a burn. Like I breathe in
Yeah,
so
like
much that it just like
That's
just
right.
the cold just runs
right.
through me.
That's right. Murray, you appear to have crashed down or had a tree
Right.
fall on you or something. You got fir branches and snow piled on you.
Right. Well, this is a very peculiar experience for my character. They've kind of lived protected without knowing it. I'm going to cast Create Bonfire.
Create bonfire. Awesome.
It was
So
dark.
you're-
Yeah, it was darkness with all the stuff around pressing in on us.
As you push off the branches and some of the snow, your eyes are filled with light, blinding white light coming into the brightness. You don't know how long you've been
Okay.
under this protective layer of fir branches and snow, but as you toss it off, your bare skin is pummeled with sort of spiky, hard, cold fingers of icy wind.
Right.
And you're going to try and so what does Create Bonfire do?
I create a 5-foot cube of bonfire
Wow.
as a sorcerer, which gives away my character.
Cool. So you're so cold that you, without even thinking, you just sort of spontaneously do this. Not even. It's just sort of like a habitual kind of thing that happens.
Well, yeah, and
automatically.
you know, the being in the dark and with all that stuff pressing around was also about releasing it and getting rid of it. So yes,
I love it. So you cry out, and fire just bursts out. Let's say at the base of the tree. That has sort of splintered and collapsed. This this tree. Maybe the tree did fall on you, and then you had this sort of intellectual, sort of internal thing happen in your head. The tree bursts into flame, like a pillar of fire, because all the splinters, beautiful oily fir tree splinters, are poking up in the air, and it starts burning. I love it.
Right.
And Johnny, you're also inside. Maybe the ruins of a house or a building. As you push off the boards, they clatter, and you come up out of underneath these floorboards, and you can just see a roof with a massive hole in it. And outside of the roof, you can see snow falling down on you. And every time a snowflake clings onto your naked skin, it burns like a tiny little stinging jaw gripping onto your flesh. What do you do?
I fly into a rage and just start just attacking everything around me, just
darkness.
smashing things.
Excellent. So you have the ruins of a house around you. Every part of the wall lining has been shattered. You grab what was the ruins of a table, 2 legs of which have been smashed, and you throw it across the room. And then you're just about to pick up another object, and you see a man lying face down on the floor, on the broken up floorboards of this place. You're naked. He's not. He's not moving. What do you do?
I sort of half run, half crawl over to him,
Yep.
as if I'm about to sort of pounce on him and
Excellent.
take out all my fury upon him. And in that last moment, I kind of stop myself with a great deal of effort.
Yeah. So do you roll him over and to look to see if he's with the world?
Yeah.
You roll
I think
him
I roll
over.
him over to attack him and then
Yes.
realize he's unconscious and then
Yeah.
stop myself.
The look of his body is horrific. I mean, he's mainly covered in thick clothing, in thick furs. They look rather invitingly warm. And but his flesh, every part of his flesh is showing. The palms of his hands and his face are black and blue, as if they've been pummeled by enormous force, smashing every capillary, every single capillary that makes up his flesh, and he's black and blue. Where do we leave you, Derek?
I had thrashed around and tried to claw the stuff off my face, realize that it's not there.
Yeah.
And I think
nice.
if I can get myself upright, I'm going to sit cross-legged and try and calm myself and slow my breathing and use my meditation techniques to
Nice.
to reconnect with the dream space and reach out.
Desperately trying to get control of your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. You sit up. You're sitting at the front of a house, like a balcony of a winter dwelling that's been completely obliterated by something or other. It's hard to know what it is. Perhaps this was a town once, but the main street is like a crater. There's stone that has been melted and become a flowing viscous fluid in parts. Every piece of wood in the house that you're sitting in front of and underneath you is like being shattered into 1,000 pieces. And just as you close your eyes to try and control your mind, you see there's bodies lying in various states around what was maybe the street, including animals, horses and oxen, and the remains of maybe a fair or something like that. But you clamp your eyes shut to try and sort of control the panic that's rising in you. What did you say?
Oh, I was going to say, is there an epicenter to this explosion? Is there a source of it?
It's just chaos everywhere. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll think about that. Nathan, so you push these stones off you.
Yeah.
You look around.
I immediately try and look around and see what's happening and where everybody is and why am I here, and I just start trying to just run and just blindly just pushing through whatever is there and kind of like falling up the rubble as I kind of like just following as if I had an instinct of where to go or what to look at or how to do it. So I'm just following pure instinct as I rush towards whatever I think is happening.
So you appear to be in the ruins of a stone building. So there's some of it still standing. Many of the stones, quite horrifyingly, have been shattered. You know, when you shatter a piece of sandstone on the ground, it just goes to a powder. There's sort of piles of powder and things. There's shattered glass. So this was perhaps some sort of relatively expensive building. You're running.
Because I'm a short man, so I know a lot about stone. Can I tell something about the stone?
Yeah, it's a beautifully fitted building. It would have been relatively expensive to build, so probably that suggests it was a religious building of some kind. This is confirmed when you are just about to exit the building to go out to the street that some of the others are looking at, and you trip and sprawl headlong onto the ground, which isn't very far to fall for a dwarf. But looking back to see what you tripped over, looking back to see what you tripped over, you discover it's the body of perhaps the priest of this building.
Does any like logos or like do I feel connected to this man at all?
You look back and he is indeed a dwarf like you. He's wearing a cassock, a perfectly sized dwarf cassock, and it has an image blazoned on it of a chisel and a hammer, which, according to your memory, means he's one of the three gods, one of the three dwarven gods. This man worships one of the three dwarven gods, the one of stone masonry.
Then I'll just rush and fall over and try and help him, and kind of like but like in absolute like hysterics.
Yeah. So you all are realizing that you're quickly becoming cold, and you're unprotected in this environment.
I'm not. I've got a blazing bonfire.
You have a blazing fire.
Okay.
The hotness of the fire is glowing on your naked flesh, Murray. Mm-hmm. So you will need and to your back where the world is free to glow on you. It's becoming chill.
Do I see anything from the light given by this now burning tree?
So it is daytime even, so you can look around you. You're in a snowy land. You're on the edge of this incredible site, which was perhaps a town of some description. You're on the edge of a forest.
Okay.
Behind you are many, many more trees, the first sort of maybe 2 or 3 layers of which have been flattened and shattered by whatever massive explosion or whatever the hell happened in this place.
Do I see buildings that have sort of been torn down?
Yep.
And run?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, as if a mighty fist has come crashing down on them, and like it's not like the sort of damage that a fireball would do, or you've heard legends of great wizards. Perhaps there's some magic that's even more powerful than that, but it's hard to tell.
I back away from the scene of devastation to behind
Excellent.
the tree so that I'm peering out at the devastation, but I'm certainly not making my way towards it.
Nice, excellent. Johnny.
Yeah, so I'm kneeling over this corpse, I assume.
Yes, definitely.
Depends on the
That's
line.
right.
Do
You'd like to check him for a pulse?
do a heal check. Do a heal
Said
check.
that, but I'd kind of put two and two together.
His very eyeballs have become liquefied and kind of cratered in and split and cut open.
Ow.
That's a lot of detail. Well, I'm gonna I'll sort of stand up and survey the scene now that I'm a bit more. I'm coming to my senses and trying to take it all in.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Excellent.
Oh, I can do the sound for that.
Oh, that's cool. Do it. Awesome. Your eyes are filled with arcane power so that you can see the very fabric of the world around you. You look all around, I presume, including looking up. You don't detect anything kind of magical in the town, but you do detect a magical aura withdrawing from the ground, withdrawing from the tops of the buildings, withdraws your eyes up, and you look up to see a strong, overpoweringly strong, it becomes apparent, magical field, which is drawing itself back into the sky above you and into the clouds, and with a distant thunderous sort of reverberation. The clouds embrace this magical field and it disappears from sight.
Wow.
You are becoming very cold now, and there's a corpse lying in front of you with clothes. If you'd like to take them.
How large is the corpse?
About approximately human-sized.
That's not going to help me.
Well, how
Could
big
make
are
it a
you?
loincloth.
I am in like 10.5 feet tall.
Oh, wow. Giant.
Yes, a giant.
Literally.
So these clothes probably won't do me much good.
This large winter coat this guy is wearing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I guess
perhaps
if
you
you
could
sort
pull
of
that over as
a-
your underlayer. It might look a bit awkward for sure.
A cloak might work as a tunic kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep. You could probably
So-
pull this great, big, thick fur cloak over you.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, I'll do my best. I'll put something on.
You uncaringly wrench the clothes from this fallen
Rip a
innocent
seam.
and clad yourself in it. Derek?
I'm just imagining Johnny doing that Lou Ferrigno Hulk thing where he splits splits out of his own jacket.
Awesome.
All right, having centered myself and given myself a moment to control my thoughts and racing thoughts from racing ahead of myself, I stand up and attempt to walk into the street a little bit, and I gather I'm not wearing anything.
No, you're absolutely, yeah. So you see that, Murray, your character?
See me?
Yes, he sees you walk out into the street amongst the fallen corpses
Okay.
of the townspeople.
Okay.
I hide.
Sorry?
I hide.
You hide, excellent.
Hide.
Yeah, you draw back behind the trees, excellent.
Behind the giant burning tree.
That's right.
Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully
Yeah.
you won't see past the flames.
You can see maybe a residual fire from this whatever catastrophe has overtaken this town. You see one of the trees is actually burning like a blazing lantern up on the hill, just up above the main street.
Okay. How far away?
Must be kind of 60 or 70 feet.
I'd like to, again, like I was doing before, maybe sort of see if there was a central impact that caused all of this, or if it was a number of impacts, or just a huge fireball that set everything ablaze at once.
You feel like maybe you need to protect yourself from the elements pretty quickly, or you're going to become hypothermic.
All right, I'll look around on the ground. I'm fairly sort of, I'm tall for my people, but I'm fairly sort of medium sized. So
Okay, good. You steal some random clothes, steal a cloak or something, and
Sure, yep.
some of them have quite attractive-looking, thick winter boots on. Do you take a pair of boots for
Yeah,
yourself?
definitely boots and gloves if they have them.
So what does this Kalashtar look like to Murray as you ramshackle the Fallen?
The from 60, 70 feet away from me, the thing that you'd probably notice the most is my golden hair. It flows down around my back, and it looks different from sort of auburn hair in that it does actually kind of shimmer slightly. And I'm presuming, normally I wear it pinched back, but that would.
Yeah, you don't have anything at all on your person. That's right.
So
not even a hair clip. That's right.
It spills down over my shoulders, and if I do glance in your direction, you do notice that my eyes are pools of blue, a deep blue.
Cool. So you put together some sort of outfit to protect yourself a bit?
Yeah.
Maybe you can add winter boots and a shirt and some pants and a jacket.
I guess I'm also, taking an inventory of the dead, and seeing if they're a particular race or if they're different types of people.
Excellent. So as you go through some of the bodies looking for valuable stuff, no, only joking. You discover, they seem to be a fairly mixed, typical town. Mainly humans, a couple of elves, half elves, that sort of stuff, and a few dwarves as well. Nathan, you're freezing, looking into the eyes of a corpse, a priest of a fellow worshipper of dwarven gods. The right proportions, in fact. That's
Unlike
right.
everyone else. I'm going to check for life and try and as I put my hand on him, I feel like an energy come through my body. As I kind of it just sparks, and then is he dead? Is he?
As you put your hand on to sense his life force, which is something you can do, you feel the rather peculiar feeling as if every single one of his ribs has been shattered. His chest is not a resistive, nice, springy kind of hard thing, but a soft, collapsed-in sponge.
Well,
it's horrifying.
I go like this. I move my hands up to his eyes, and I pull his eyes down, and then I take what little he has on him and use it to keep fighting forward.
Excellent. You dress yourself in his religious garb, and his cassock and his nice warm boots, and you leave his stripped body on the ground. You also find 11 silver pieces in the pocket of one of his outfits. Murray. You're getting very, very cold on one side. You can keep sort of, now that you've withdrawn from the fire.
Yep.
There is a woodsman's body lying with an axe not so far away from him.
I might gingerly approach with a branch and prod him to make sure that he is not going to do anything woodsman-esque. What happens when I prod?
His arm, where you prod him, what part of his body do you prod to see if someone's alive with an axe?
I was going to say, leg, but arm's fine. I can prod on the arm.
His arm, in similar way to Nathan's victim of pillaging, it just sort of gives way quite happily. Not like there's a solid bone in there, but more like there's kind of jelly mush. And it's very peculiar.
All right, when I'm sure that he won't react or move, I'll go over and as quickly as possible, casting furtive glances back at this blue-eyed, shimmering haired creature. I will don the woodsman's garb and take their axe.
Lovely. You have to pick the thousands of splinters of wood out of his flesh and out of his clothes as well, annoyingly, some of which stay in there and scratch you once you pull them over. So it's like he was maybe chopping this tree down, then it exploded completely. You don't, however, have any of these splinters in your own flesh.
Okay.
And in answer to Derek's question, it's like, as far as you can tell, whatever obliterating force caused this seems to have originated maybe where you are. where you were sitting, or the building. Maybe there's some poles leaning away, or the horses are leaning away, or some of the corpses are leaning away. You can also see up at the end of the main street, you see walking out of the like ruins of a church. Are they ancient ruins of a stone building that was once there thousands of years ago, or was it like knocked down as well? A dwarf clad in religious garb. You see the distinctive hammer and chisel of the worshippers of the dwarf god of stone masonry. What do you look like apart from that, Nathan?
I'm actually tall for my species as well. No, I've got a beard, like a fierce white beard with just grey, just mixed in grey and white everywhere, and it's just covered in rubble and dust and snow, and it seems like I'm older than the stones I'm standing in front of, kind of, and kind of like have a sense of like age to me, and it seems like the clothing looks relatively as if it's hanging off like an ancient being in that regard.
Wow, very cool.
I gesture and hold my hand up, and actually I hold both hands up to show that I'm not armed, and start to walk towards this dwarf.
And that's excellent. We'll get you guys together in a moment. That sounds fantastic. And what did you do, Johnny? You're now warm against the cold.
Well, somewhat warmer.
That's right.
I might keep my eye out for anyone's got a rug that's in their cottage at some point that I could fashion into another garment.
Excellent. I can let you find a large woolen blanket that's in one of the other rooms of this cottage, this destroyed building.
Excellent. So I'll wrap myself in some wool and furs and venture out into the cold. I punch a hole through the middle of the blanket and put it over.
Nice. Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. So you can imagine Nathan's character walking out from the church, Derek's character standing at the end of the street, and then emerging halfway down the street, stepping out of this one street town, is this enormous 10-foot... Is it called a furbolg? Furbolg? Yeah.
Furbolg.
Yeah. He steps out of this ruined building, taking a bit of door frame with him as he tries to sort of awkwardly get around the smashed basement where he originally found himself. Excellent.
Do I know him? Is he a common in this?
Not a race you'd necessarily be particularly familiar with. You have her like it's somewhere in your distant memories. It's about this point where you start to look at each other and to ask these sorts of questions about, oh, is this a friend? Is this someone I know? Is this a race I know? That you start to realize the void that you are all experiencing in your memories. Like, for instance, what happened before you woke up, or where you are, or what town this is, or certainly was. And there's kind of a moment of disorientation as you suddenly realize you're kind of a bit sketchy about how the heck you got here.
I'm going to yell something out. Are we still under attack? Quickly! And I run to try and find cover, as if like still skirting around, and kind of like dust going up behind me as I kind of like try and take what little cover I can, trying to get my bearings on what is surrounding me, why there's a 10-foot man with the...
Yeah.
Oh, friend dwarf. I think that whatever happened here has passed. Calm yourself.
But the fire is still hot. Can you feel it? And I'm just trying to look around and get my, I'm almost in a world of ocean, because I look up and there's no roof, there's no walls, there's nothing. I wake up in the darkness and see above me just the endless sky, and it just, I'm really outside my element here.
White clouds with whiteness and coldness falling out of them right into your eyes as you look up.
And the air is so crisp, it's just like burning my lungs. And so I start breathing faster and faster, and it just keeps more and more pain. And I'm just looking around trying to work out, like, who are you? What are you doing? Step, and trying to like get something so I can touch stone or like have some form of stability behind me. And I'm trying to I'm just like a scared animal almost, out of his element, out of his moment, and trying to not connect with anybody and try and move back because I know nobody, and this is all foreign to me.
Awesome, spectacularly awesome. So yeah, the dwarf is withdrawing, kind of in a semi-panic state to the stone building he knows. You notice, Johnny, that of course, as you step out, your eyes are drawn immediately to the blazing tree that's on fire, and you notice a female just finishing rifling through the corpse, a corpse that's up near the tree and hefting a small axe. What does she look like, Murray?
So she is a half wood elf. Not that she's aware that she's a half wood elf. And so, yeah, the woodcutter's clothing is probably too overly large on her. I don't know how large this woodsman was. Was he substantially larger than the coat-wearing person?
Not ridiculously large. So yeah, reasonably slight sort of fellow.
Okay.
Perhaps not sort of the ideal kind of tree.
I was
fellow,
wondering whether Johnny was going to look at my my coat with envy.
No, your coat was definitely not appropriate for Johnny either.
Good.
Unfortunately, there few cloaks will be in this house.
Yeah, so that pretty much hides the rest of her features, which suits her down to the ground. But yes, so she's looking down at this peculiar collection of creatures, and this short person who is running around crazily and is realizing that the best place to be is away from them, and this giant and this gold shimmering head, it's just like being in the woods by yourself, best place to be.
So she starts backing up.
I think
starting to disappear behind a tree.
But I think she's also a bit worried about what's happened to her home and her surroundings that she's known, and looking for a culprit.
You're a creature of peace and the woods, Johnny. Like you see, is that a pixie you've spotted, or some other fairy type creature, or she looks afraid and disorientated?
Yeah, I call out, "Hello there." It's okay. Whatever it was has gone up into the sky.
I pretend, as all people trying to not be noticed do, that is not addressed to me. But
I'm going to fall over backwards at that point.
Lumber over towards you.
We'll go to you, Nathan. So you start lumbering over towards her. Meanwhile, you're doing what, Nathan?
I'm just going to stumble backwards as I'm like walking backwards, trying to keep my eye. And as soon as he says that, I kind of like fall back and kind of like start scurrying back to try and find rock behind me.
And Derek?
I'm going to move towards Nathan again and reach out with my mind and telepathically talk to Nathan's character and say, again, calm thyself, friend.
Nice.
The danger has passed. You are no longer in trouble, and I am here to help. Calm your mind.
You're going to hear my thoughts at the same point, and it's just going to be, who are they? Why am I here? Who am I? Why? And I'm just going to be like, it's just going to be thoughts of this stuff, and I'll start to slow down.
I have no answers for you, so you need to concentrate on your breath. Cool. Breathe in, breathe out.
I sense some PC combat here, but
I think I'm freaking out at the moment to the point where I'm going, like, I'm really like breathing in, breathing out to the point where I would like just kind of like, almost like lose a bit of focus and see the black coming again and get even more scared. but I'm now I'm leaning against the stone wall, so I've got something behind me, and it's just calming me slightly as I kind of like, I'm like a rabid dog. I'm looking around and switching my gaze between the people and not looking at myself or where I am, but just being very confused as I kind of like almost just nod a bit off, and you can see my energy is dropping as I kind of like begin to relax or pass out or what. You're not quite sure what's happening, but I'm calming down, but I don't. Is that a good thing? I don't know.
That's super cool. I love it. So then Johnny, your character, walks over towards this creature of the forest.
Yeah, and he walks kind of calmly and quietly almost.
Unthreateningly.
As unthreateningly as a 10.5 foot tall giant man with long red hair and a long red beard can possibly be.
I think curiosity will overcome fear.
Nice. If anyone watching can Google Furbolg, they do look kind of cuddly.
They've got big noses.
Yeah. They don't really look like menacing giants of destruction. So yeah, what do you do, Murray? What does your character do?
I pretty much, I'm not coming forward, but I'm certainly not continuing to back away. I'll let him get close and hear what he has to say.
What are your eyes like?
My eyes? Well, probably they are. Well, I don't know. I've never looked at them, to be honest. So I'm not sure. Johnny, what are my eyes like?
Nice.
What are you, a half?
I'm a half wood elf, but I don't know that I'm a half wood elf.
Well, yeah, but I imagine that you would have piercing, bright, sparkling green eyes.
Lovely.
Just, not green eyes that a human would have. Kind of a darker shade, like a more emeraldy kind of green.
Cool.
Like
Forest
a spring
even.
leaf.
Yeah.
Nice. Spring leaf. Beautiful.
Okay.
So, and they're trying to look kind of slightly menacing and untrusting at the moment, but also very kind of, inquisitive.
Yes.
Despite themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. So what do you say, Johnny? Anything else again?
I say, come now, little one. It's okay.
Are you saying that to who?
To me.
To Murray's character.
Ooh.
He's wandered up to the burning tree. I will say in return, who are you? Where are you from?
Do I know my own name? And how much do I remember?
So it's
I don't want to
weird.
answer too much.
That's right. You literally don't remember anything before was it a dream or whatever? Or was it afterlife, like near-death experience? But you do remember your name, which is strange. But yeah, literally nothing. You don't know what you look like. Apart from looking down at your body, you're clearly 10 feet tall. You kind of know how to act and cast spells spontaneously. You have a lot of the skills, much like complete amnesia, basically. Which is always a mystery to me. It's so weird how people can still play chess and piano and yet can't remember, anything before last Tuesday.
I am Lorkel. Who are you?
I am a Ressa.
And the same sensation for you, Murray, the same sort of peculiar confusion about why...
What's happened?
You've always been in the forest. You know that the forest is your friend, and you know that if you withdraw into the forest, you'll be safe and you'll be able to survive.
Yep.
With an axe, at least. Now you have an axe in your hand, you know you can sort of make everything you would need to. Maybe it's a safer tactic to do so, but then friends are also useful, because friends can take care of you when you are...
I've never had any friends, so I'm
so your
not
natural
sure
inclination
what
is to not
weird magic words you're talking.
That's right.
So...
I don't remember having friends.
Yeah, you don't remember not having friends, Murray.
Do you say? Right. I don't remember not having friends, but I certainly I don't understand what this other creature standing here talking to me is. Right. I don't know what this social interaction actually.
Yeah.
What's going on? But yeah, I'll roll something. want to roll something to see whether I like it.
Okay.
I think I
fine to
do.
me.
I think I do. Weirdly, do you want to charm me, or do you want me to roll to see whether I have been charmed by your mere presence and friendliness?
Well, I think it might be fun for me to try and charm you,
All right.
because I'll probably fail.
I like it. Opposed friendship rolls, guys. Go.
Opposed friend. Yeah. Yep. No, we are enemies for life. Sorry,
No.
met on the first day of kindergarten.
Sorry, we're best friends.
What do
Yeah,
I
well, it
even
could be.
roll
It could
for
be that
I don't
too.
even know.
Ooh, the risks are high.
One of the social skills. If you don't have any points or proficiencies, it's such a low. No, it's not a level thing, isn't it?
I just roll charisma?
Charisma, yeah, just charisma
Yeah.
check.
Do it.
That's what I'm assuming.
I'm going to give you advantage because you were really being quite careful in your approach. And you
might
do look a
need
bit
that.
cuddly.
With advantage, 7.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a particularly charming person. I'm
No.
quite.
I think though I might see a little bit of myself in you in the lack of social graces,
Nice.
because I don't know what socializing is.
Nice.
Well, it seems that I don't either. Not just from rolling, but
So are you doing a kind of an awkward ooh,
yeah.
cool. I might
Sorry, that was
take
me who said
your
yes.
hand
Oh.
and walk you back down the hill because you've been so friendly to me.
Oh.
So I have
Really beautiful.
I have the only other thing that you might notice is that in my suprasternal notch there's a tattoo of a weird sort of
So
emblem.
as the ill-fitting, slightly oversized, but not particularly massively oversized cloak. Yeah,
it's got
clothes
like
with these fall
lapels,
apart.
so it's got like
Yeah.
there's a gap here, which is exactly where it needs to
So
be.
tattooed on your actual flesh is
On my flesh. Yep.
sort of a large jewel, like a necklace, as if it were a necklace with a
It
large
looks like
jewel.
that, but I'm not allowed to wear that because I haven't got that. So I might have
love
props.
it.
Anyone else got props? I got props.
Ah, that's so cool. Woodolph should have some closeness to Furball. Absolutely,
I
definitely.
don't even know if it comes down the
So
camera. Will it
Derek's
come out in the
beautiful
camera?
Kalashtar. Oh, that's so cool.
It does come out in the camera. There you go.
Nice.
Beautiful. Derek's Kalashtar is offering kind of like sort of an emotional paper bag to Nathan's hyperventilating.
I'm going. Who's reading my mind at the moment?
That would be me.
Okay, I'm going to give you something, and then I think I'm going to faint because. So I've never been alone, ever. I'm a tribal creature. Like I've always in the mountains, like dwarves. Like you never go anywhere without actually like having a dwarf in your line of sight almost. So I'm not in a mountain. I'm in the open, I'm alone, and I'm surrounded by people I don't know. Everybody I've ever met, I was like known since birth. So this idea of new people and having no one I know and being surrounded and being not underground, and you just see that I'm just getting absolutely overwhelmed, and you can kind of sense that I'm hyperventilating again, and then I'm just going to kind of just fade into like a as if like I'm passing out from just too much sensation has all happened and hit me all at once.
I love it.
Just as that's happening, I'll dash over to you and gently sort of catch your body as it's falling, and then lean you over so that you're sort of not going to knock your head as you hit the ground. Or
And that's going to be my
that.
last. That'd be my last thought as I see that. So the last thought is going to be, I'm going to feel you grab me and catch me as I fall, and then I'm going to just pass out at that point.
Are you still linked to his mind at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe the last thing that I say to him is rest.
You just see you have that same dream again, Nathan, while you're unconscious.
Oh, what,
falling
inky
through black,
death?
inky death, struggling for air, trying to find the surface, thrashing in I suppose it's underwater, but maybe it's frighteningly a lot more thick than water.
Do I have my friend
this-
there now? Connected to me in my mind, is he in my dreams as well? So do I hear his voice as I travel through this dream? Like, is
Yes. And there's a tiny, tiny little bit more of dream just before you get to that. It's you falling. Maybe you've tripped into a doorway. A doorway that's, and the room on the other side is very, very dark. Even maybe the doorway kind of is filled with this treacle blackness.
Is it
and just
the
as
darkness,
you twist your body?
Is it the darkness I love? Like, is it my under? Like,
No.
is it a darkness
No.
of tunnel, or is it a darkness of like the unknown?
That's a great point. So yeah, it's a very, very strange darkness. The darkness, perhaps dwarves would have an instinctual sense of, say, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide buildup.
But when you
the
dig too
dangerous
deep.
parts of the world, yeah, when you dig too deep or you dig into sulfur or something like that, it's that kind of darkness that you know to back away from. And but it's through a door into another room in the mine or something like that.
Is
It
it
has-
is it a dwarven door? Do I take in any of the kind of like any of the?
It's a very finely crafted wooden door with an exquisite frame and no door within it. It's just the frame of a door now you think of it. Now you actually get to glimpse that too, Derek, just as he loses consciousness.
Of the door.
The door and him falling towards the door, and then you see the same vision that you have just dreamed just a little bit earlier. You see his mind trapped in this liquid. You can try and pull him out of it, I suppose. That would be quite cool.
Yeah. Do I feel like it needs a sharp shock?
Yeah.
So
The answer is always yes.
Yes. Sharp shock sounds interesting storytelling wise.
So I make a piercing, keening noise that sort of spikes into his brain like a bolt of light in a dark room.
Oh.
At that point, you're going to see the kind of like, as if beneath the beard I have this huge beard. And you can see that there's almost like a radiant glowing light coming from underneath it. Like as if you can see the like glimpses of light coming out through the beard, as if I've got some form of light has gone underneath. And then it
Yeah.
just
Oh, that's
fades
cool.
immediately as I slowly wake up and just kind of like, just wake up, my eyes open and I look at you. And I'm like,
You sense
Yeah.
holy power and righteousness in this dwarf.
I say, are you here or are you in the dream?
Who am I? Who are you? I know you.
I'm Suno. I'm Suno. Do you know me? I don't recognize this place.
Why are we outside? Did you see the darkness? It chases me in my dreams.
I did. Dreams are important. Our dreams are our mind's way of ordering our reality, and we should take heed of them.
Then why am I here? What dream has brought me to this place?
I
So
think
the two
that
of
will
you-
be.
Let's go say your sentence.
Yeah, I think that will be made apparent in time, but until then,
Cool.
not yet.
So the two of you, Johnny and Mary, your characters now are walking up just to catch the end of this conversation.
I think I'm taking 2 steps for every one of Johnny's.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
it kind of looks like I'm skipping at his side, but not really.
It's like a
That's
kid.
fantastic.
I'm going to ask, what are they?
As in the people. That's cool.
Yeah. So
What are they?
to
Yeah.
what are they?
So you'd know the answer to that question, Johnny. Clearly a dwarf and a Kalashtar.
A dwarf and a Kalashtar.
What's a
Which are 2 words
Kalashtar?
which means things. That's right. Yeah.
Which one is which?
The dwarf is the little one.
Derek, you're going to get a very sharp sense in your brain because you're still connected to me that I freak the fuck. Like, who is this? What are they doing? Like, I go to push back, to lean back and start crawling backwards again in my mind as I...
I say again, calm yourself, dwarf. They do not appear to be threatening.
I've never seen something
Whoa.
that tall. I'm just going to point it out there. He's 10 foot. Like, I'm like a solid
How
ball
tall
ball.
are you?
I'm like 3'9", 3'10",
Excellent.
but I'm built like a
You're
meatball.
You are being like, yeah, thick and strong. Absolutely, yeah.
Like
Are
a
they
wombat.
friends, Lorcal? Is this what friends look like?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh. Are you friend?
I do.
Yes, yep, them, yep.
There are no facts on which to base who we are.
Oh.
Did you do this?
I
I think I
That's
might
cool.
take that as the same kind of awkward response that Lorcal gave me up by the trees. I'm like, do I need to hold your hand too?
Oh, that's cool.
And I offer my hand.
to me.
So yeah, to you. So I'm holding Lorcal's hand and, trying to sense awkward socializing skills that are occurring around me.
That's beautiful.
I reach out and take your hand and say, from my ancestors to yours, welcome.
Ooh.
It's like the very coldness, the pinching winds that pummel your cheeks are rendered less cold and less stinging by the bond of friendship and peace offered.
I say,
Like literally.
I don't know if I have any ancestors. Do you have ancestors? I say to Lorcal.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Why? What do I know of my?
Can I say, I can see this getting to a very circular conversation.
Yeah.
None of us know
I
anything.
don't know.
No,
Maybe
none of
I
you know
don't know
anything.
either.
None of you know your
Yeah.
name. You seem to know how to do the things that you can do. You literally can't remember anything since you woke up just a little while ago, 10 minutes ago. It's upsetting to even think about, really.
Right.
Hmm.
This is a new world which I've embraced with hand holding.
Right.
Beautiful.
What about the
I'm
dwarf? Can the dwarf reach?
I'm gonna let go of Lorcal's hand with a an apologetic squeeze.
Squeeze.
And then offer my hand to the dwarf, and say, "Do you want to be a friend too?"
Can I do an insight check?
Yes.
And then I'm going to try and parrot the monk with from my ancestors to yours.
Oh, that's
Welcome.
fantastic.
Is that
Excellent.
right? I say, is that right?
Good. Give us an insight check.
Yes.
So I rolled a 10.
What sort of insight were you looking for? Her genuineness of her intentions?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think I got distracted by the fact that I couldn't remember my ancestors, and I couldn't remember. I can't pick out people who I like. I feel like I'm alone and I'm missing my tribe, but I don't know who they are. And I've kind of see the innocence in her eyes and be like put my hand out, but as I do, it kind of like glows as if there's like a lay on hands kind of uncontrollably going through me.
This you definitely sense powerful good in this dwarf. Harry?
Righty-ho. Have I
it's-
offended your very faith by copying your greeting
Yeah.
incorrectly, Derek?
I don't think my people know how to get offended.
Okay, good. So I'm
Holding hands
all
is
over
a power
the
thing.
I'm all over the holding hands thing then. So
Yeah,
I unafraidly, if that's a word, grasp this glowing dwarven hand.
I'm gonna reach
try-
out like the smallest bit, and it's like a 90-10. I'll put 10% forward. You can, because
Right.
I'm very cautious about everybody.
Without you realizing at the touching of the fingertips, it's suddenly 50-50 without you even realizing it. So there's a warm half elven hand now clasping yours and trying to pull you to your feet, so that we can become like a circle of hand holding, which is kind
I
of
love it.
a new experience of like, wow.
Can we all end up standing four characters all holding hands, looking at each other?
I'm gonna feel.
Fantastic.
Quick question: do my powers of like radiancy feel more strong that I'm connecting with these people? Like, is there a
Yes.
positive outcome
Yes.
because of this connection I have
Yes.
to these people? As if there's
Very
more
much
than
so.
just what is. They're not just. I'm not holding hands. We're both stronger because we're actually touching.
Absolutely. Yeah, you feel a strange kinship, an indefinable sense of common purpose, maybe past memories. When you're all standing there holding each other's hands against this horrific, frankly, sight of it, just reminds you where you are.
Yeah.
An exploded medieval town in a snowy wasteland, which was cleared of snow, presumably at some point by the massive force that was released that pummeled the bodies of everyone in the town to kind of paste. But the snow has started to fall again since this explosion happened. But regardless of that, you feel a sense of sort of familiarity with each other and a sense of safety and a sense of kind of destiny and common purpose amongst each other.
I'm going
as
to
long as we've got each other, we'll be all right.
I'm going to honestly.
No idea why I said that.
I'm going to honestly ask. It's like, do you know me? As in, like, absolutely,
that's really cool.
Earnestly asking, do you know me?
I look deeply into your eyes with my own green leaf, piercing bright green eyes.
Double hand.
Yeah. 2 hands, absolutely. I don't know anyone. You're the first people I've ever met in my whole life.
That's so cool. Awesome. Well, should we take a break since we've gone past a chunk of an hour? And have
Really? That's an hour?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
role
goodness.
playing?
I
We didn't
have
even have a
no
fight.
idea of time. I think time is just passing.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
sure.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's take a very quick break, and since we need to, we'll be back. Yeah.
Everybody
very
go get a
soon.
drink and come back. Also, make sure if you put some chats in the type, if you put some like chat in the thinger, we can actually put it up on the screen. All right, guys. See
Think
you back
about
in
the
a few
power
minutes.
of friendship, everybody.
Yeah, hold somebody's
Excellent.
hand if you can. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
Your own if you need to.
We'll be back in a few
See you
minutes.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Really? Ooh.
Is this another one of those awkward friendship moments?
I think so.
I hold
Amazing.
all of your hands.
Yay! Oh,
I don't. We're still showing the
my art's in
picture.
the way. Thank you. Yay! You guys are amazing. That was fantastic.
All right.
So good.
What amazing characters, guys. It's really, really absolute screamer of character interaction. Thank you. And very great player talent as well, too. Obviously, the ultimate intention of a party is for people to be together and to not fight each other, but you both didn't walk
we got
up
close.
And say, hi, will you be my friend? Okay, good, we're together now. What's next?
I don't know. I think, Derek was giving a mind spike to Nathan's dwarf for a while there. That could have gone.
Just
That could have gone a
nudge.
different way. That could have gone a different.
Just
A mind
bring him back.
nudge. A mind nudge.
Nudging, yeah, that's... Look, can I be honest? I needed it because I was in a bit of a weird way, actually, yeah. So it was good.
It was fantastic. So to recap, we have Suno. Derek's playing Suno. He's Kalashtar. We don't really know much about his class yet, but he has some kind of dream kind of ability to communicate with people's minds. We have Johnny's playing Lorkel, who's a Furbolg, and he kind of went into a kind of a rage, so perhaps that suggests he's maybe a barbarian. Nathan is playing Faradus. You haven't actually said your name yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
No. He's a dwarf, clearly, and he clearly has radiant holy power, so he must either be a cleric or a paladin, perhaps, the way he's built.
I can't
And
remember.
Murray did introduce herself. She's playing Eressa, who's a half-elf, though she doesn't know it. She doesn't never know it. None of you actually seen a mirror. And seems to be able to spontaneously cast magic that just emanates straight out of her mind. So that suggests she's perhaps a sorcerer of some description. Awesome! The warmth of friendship, though comforting, is no long-term solution for standing out in the cold, even as well rugged up as you are, and slowly kind of the reality of what's around you comes creeping back in. There's kind of a natural human need to find shelter, to get under a roof, because the snow is starting to fall ever more thickly, and presumably night comes at some point if this is any kind of real normal world. So what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? There are certainly no buildings that would offer sufficient... Oh, there's the building the Furbolg walked out of, which kind of sort of has a little bit of wall sort of thing, a bit.
I think standing in our circle of hand-holding, I might say, so, what do friends do?
Love it. That's amazing.
Well, I think I may need some help. And I turn my gaze to the Furbolg and say, a boost up, please.
Ooh, good idea.
I'm going to mumble, not me, but not intentionally, just like as if it's like nobody picks me up the ground. I'm a meatball attached to the ground. That's where I live.
I love it. I love it.
No, I point to the roof of the building that's next to us. It's not... Is it crumbling? Is it going to fall apart if I jump up onto it? Or
So you walk back over to the building which is nearby, which the Furbolg emerged from. And there seems like there's enough kind of structure. It's a rare building that kind of maybe it was more expensive or more solid. And it has, at least kind of one level of walls and then the smashed ceiling and smashed roof, which you should better climb up on for sure.
Yeah, okay. I ask for a boost.
Yeah, I boost you up.
Excellent.
I think I can do that pretty effortlessly.
Yeah.
That's okay with you, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
I think
You boost, so the Kalashtar is now sort of half holding on the unstable ruins of this building, yes?
So, I sort of, gracefully stand up to get as much of a view of this surrounding area as I can. And I'm looking for any sort of building that might offer us some decent shelter, but I'm also looking at the trail of destruction and seeing if there's, a source of it, or if there was a one place or more. I'm kind of keenly interested for some reason in what caused this.
I
love
call
it.
up and say, do you see any other survivors?
Do I?
So, imagine a one-town town.
Hang on, sorry. Break that in my mind.
So
A
one road town,
a one-town town, Ben. I need to know more.
A one-road town. I can speak the English
There
good.
you go.
A one-road town in kind of so on the side that where Murray's character Aressa was hiding amongst the forest, there's a forest that comes almost down to the back of buildings on one side of the road that goes off into a steadily rising hill, heavily forested with thick fir trees covered in snow. There's a road out on both sides of the town heading off into kind of grassy, snow-covered wasteland. The snow is only maybe kind of a foot thick or so it's, there's still a little bit of road still showing.
1/3 of
the snow is
height.
that's right. There's only a dozen or so buildings that make up this what was the town, but the ground is ripped up and has been turned molten in multiple spots, and the church that's at one end of the town has been decimated, and almost all the other buildings are completely shattered, including some of the trees. 3 rows of trees going up into the forest, as I mentioned. So in terms of where the power emanated, do you have any kind of construction sort of abilities or magical arcana sort of thing? Or
no, I have insight.
I'm good with
give me an
stone.
insight check. Yep.
I actually have an ability as a dwarf to be able to get advantage on rolls when dealing with stone and stonecraft. So could I understand I know how heavy stone is and how much it takes to move it. Looking around and seeing just the shattered building, can I determine how powerful it was or where it came from? I'm going to take that as a yes and roll.
Yes. Yep, roll. And Derek, roll as well.
I got a 19.
19 on insight, yeah.
You know what? That was a good roll, Derek. Go.
You got a 15? That's not a bad roll either.
Yeah.
Having seen where each of did you see Mari's character emerge? You did, didn't you? You noticed the fire?
Yep, I saw the fire.
So the fire, which is now dying downish, it looks like an explosive force tsunami, maybe. I mean, detonations aren't a thing really that you're familiar with, or even just obviously because of the whole amnesia thing is a bit confusing. But certainly things radiate out of that point. The church seems like it just literally exploded, and the stones are thrown outwards in all directions from within the church. The building that the Furbolg walked out of, though he did a sort of bit of extra demolition on the door as he tried to sort of duck underneath it, indeed seems like maybe it was a siege stone or something came flying through the roof of this building and shattered the big hole. Because it's broken in, looking down into the building, you can see that the roof has been shattered, the rafters have been shattered, the ceiling's been shattered, and then the basement, the basement has been revealed by mainly removing all the floorboards that were in the middle of it. And then you yourself as well, there seems to be an emanation of sort of radial lines of energy having passed away from where you found yourself. So
Goodness.
that's strange.
So that is not good to hear.
And also, it occurs to you that maybe all of you occurs to you sort of look at your hands at some point, kind of sort of work out what you look like because you haven't had a look at yourselves, and you do notice you are all unharmed, despite. That's right. I'm short. The ground's closed. You all are unharmed. Your fingertips are pretty kind of chilly and blue at the moment, but looking at this. Numbers of corpses, maybe 24 or so different corpses, some amongst the 1,000 things, all look like they've been shaken in the jaws of a dragon or some mythical creature, none of which you've ever seen or even have memories of anyway.
With the insight I had, did I see, was it like as if something fell and hit this town, or is it like what would do this damage in my head? Like, so think of a dwarven equivalent of what power this would be or something.
Yeah.
Wizards' fireballs, thrown massive siege stones,
like an ogre,
kind of those sorts of things.
An ogre, an orc, or like a huge, like
maybe a giant came through and smashed buildings with a club or something. It's hard to tell. But then the ground also looks like it's been heated up, as and Johnny's character talked about kind of this magical energy that was withdrawing up into the clouds. So maybe he was just trying to relax Aressa.
So I think Lorkel's maybe starting to figure out that the epicenters of the damage are actually the 4 locations that we found ourselves in. So we sort of verbally process that.
It's like it came from us.
Did we do this?
I'm gonna. At that point, can I look down at the blood on the vest that I'm wearing, and just start to immediately get guilt that the person who I've the blood who I've that's still
Heartlessly strip the
wet.
clothes off the fallen victim. Yes.
It's still wet.
It's not
and-
much blood. Most of the death seems to happen just like by literally pummeling with force. There's
that makes it
they're
better.
not cut open. That's right.
Or bludgeoning damage.
Mainly bludgeoning damage.
So
Aressa's clothes are pretty pocked with blood, but
Right,
yeah.
but there's no signs of burning or acid damage.
No
Okay,
signs
so
of burning, acid damage.
Aressa is strangely comforted by the fact that no, definitely
Yeah.
not. Definitely
While
not
on
me.
the other hand,
And I'm sure my
Orpheus is
friends would
quite
never
concerned.
do that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
friends would never do that. Would you? You wouldn't. I'm Aressa. Who are you? I say to Nathan.
I'm Faradas.
Paradas.
I
You
think
wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't do anything like this, would you? To stone or people?
I'm gonna hold my hands up, still covered with some of the blood, because I went along and actually, and I'm just not gonna answer, and I'm just gonna kind of just take it all in and kind of hold that emotion of what
I've
have
held
I done?
those hands. They haven't done that. What about you? I call up to the building top. You haven't done this, have you?
The building answers.
I have no memory of doing this. It does not mean I didn't.
I love the objectiveness of your character. That's really cool. There's twice now.
And what about you, Lorcal? You didn't do this, did you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Right. That's good enough for me.
We have to move from here.
Yes, it's getting cold. It's starting,
So I'm-
cold is starting to seep through your clothes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm starting to scout for a building that's less damaged, that's less... And also, I'm...
Like a
I
cave.
do want to see if there's... Yeah, like a cave. I'm kind of interested in this basement area that you talked about and seeing if I can see down into that to see if there's stores or food or shelter or even firewood or coal or anything like that we could...
Yeah, certainly the basement looked like it was a place to store alcohol, most of which has been exploded into fine powder of bottles and a soaking of red and on the walls.
Okay.
And sticky mead once you jump down and you have a bit of a look down the hole. You possibly could all pass the night in this space if maybe there were some fabrics or something put up over the opening in the floor. That could be an option.
I
I'm
can't
going to
sleep
squeeze
with the sky above
Lorcal's
me.
hand, and I'm going to squeeze Faradis's hand and say, "What do you need? What do you need?"
There's no safety here. Why are we staying in the open? We need to... I'm just I'm sensing this just emotion is just I can't stay in this place. There's I look around and I look at the dwarf body still in the street and I'm just we can't stay. This is a place of death.
You notice, Nathan, that the chisel and the hammer that's on your clothes, which is the god of stonework and digging and mining and perhaps you find comfort in that, and that sort of reminds you of the power of and the goodness of that god and how much maybe that means a lot to you. Maybe you're a worshipper of this god. Maybe that's where you source your power.
I've never slept out of the cover of trees, but I'm willing to give it a go. Is that what friends do?
Are you down in the basement rooting around, Derek?
No, I feel like this is not the most... This is not the best place. Is there anywhere else that has maybe not had as much damage to it? Or is
This is definitely the most upstanding of the buildings. Yes,
Okay,
everything else
okay.
seems to have quite happily dissolved into fine paste of broken shards and shattered beams.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump down there and I'm going to have a look around, and specifically I'm looking for tarpaulins or large blankets or anything that might help us
Adventurers
survive
backpacks.
the night. Yeah.
What do you need? I say to Lorkel.
So you find these things, Derek, in the in-game channel in our Discord down in this.
Ooh, fancy.
There are some things down here. There is a bed, some.
So the bed is the broken up, pieces of a bed that was actually up on the top floor and it's fallen down in pieces. So there's some wood.
Yeah. Okay. But there's blankets and stuff like that attached to the bed.
Yep, that's right.
And a bedroll. There are some arrows.
Do I remember I'm good with a bow at that moment when he mentions arrows?
If he says arrows, you get a little feeling of your fingers. Yeah,
I'm good with a bow. How do I know that?
that's cool.
There's no bows down here.
I'll go and find one. Off I go.
Okay.
He just walks around with
you go
arrows.
off. Excellent. I love it.
The next thing I find is a set of dice, and I throw them over my shoulder.
What do you roll?
No, don't. Yeah, do it. Right, laugh it. Woo!
You don't keep the dice?
No, they mean nothing to me. So I throw them over my shoulder and don't bother to pay them any more mind.
Excellent.
And there's a vial of some kind of liquid. It smells terrible. Like a burning smell.
Excellent.
I think you should come down and help me make this habitable for the evening.
So you're rooting off around the place, Murray? Sort of looking
Yes,
at people's
I'm-
houses, going through people's pockets, things like that?
Yes, I'm lamenting the fact that these friends things, they seem to be great, and I'm really upset that I've spent my entire life just away from such a wealth of interesting people to get to know, and sad that there are so many, potential friends who are lying around dead. And that I'll never know them as friends, and they'll never know me as a friend, because I think I'm a pretty good friend. I think I'm a great friend.
You've done a good first half hour. Like, I'm not going to lie, but we're going to judge it on incremental, KPIs.
So,
Right.
do you and Nathan want to sort of look around a bit before you go down and help Derek build some sort of shelter to pass the night?
Yeah, I'm going to do two things if I can. I'm going to just to confirm my suspicions and pretty much know where I'm at, I'm going to divine sense. I can kind of sense good and evil around me, and I'm assuming I'm getting all good. And is there anything within 60 feet that is not good? That is evil?
There is nothing evil lurking in the shadows, or that's right. You don't sense any evil presence, and you sense the good auras, or the neutral or good auras of your companions.
Do they need
whose
healing?
intentions are good and honest. Does anyone need healing? Peculiarly not. Maybe if they keep staying out in the cold for much longer, they might sort of suffer some negative consequences of that. But no, they're weirdly uninjured.
I'm going to use
considering the carnage that's everywhere.
I'm going to use my stone, the ability to kind of see and move and craft stone, to kind of use that to be able to help create a shelter for the night. It's almost as if I just get a few rocks and they form together to create a roof or a structure or a wall blocking off the wind.
Yep. So you and Derek's character, you and Sono, is that right? Yes. Spend some time sort of propping up, the pieces of wood to close up this hole in the floor and create a bit of a shelter over it with the blankets that are found in the bed. And
with the things that I found, can I make a bindle? That's right, everyone. I use the word bindle.
If you've got that on your list, you can mark that one off. Bindle.
Well, it's a stick with a piece of fabric, and I wrap everything else that I've found up inside it and tie it onto the stick and put it over my shoulder.
I love it. like
That's
a Matilda,
Like the old school
Welsh Matilda.
movies.
That's right.
That's called a bindle. A bindle. Welcome to
So
education.
are we going to say you kind of make some effort to find another piece of sort of blanket or something?
Blanket or another coat, and basically put
Yeah,
everything
coat.
in
Let's,
it, and then
let's say do it
tie
with
it
a
up,
coat.
wrap it on onto a stick.
I love it.
And go, look, and I'll come back to the basement and go, look what I found. Oh, look, that could go with my arrows. Does anyone else want anything? Ooh. And then I might go off and ferret some more, because this is fun. This is what friends do.
Are you looking around too, Johnny?
I've wandered off into the forest, and I'm collecting firewood.
Nice.
I can collect quite a lot fairly quickly. I pick up some large branches.
Awesome.
You know, whole
walks
fir
out.
tree and drag it back. You know.
Ooh.
Nice.
We asked the
maybe-
branches you
maybe
bring a
some of
tree.
Some of the boughs of the fir tree could be good, to sort of make this kind of thatching to break the wind a bit.
I love it. Okay, excellent. You
on
know
my
that?
second trip back,
Yep. Do you want me to give
do
you
I
another?
find anything more? Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I'll do the same thing. And then on my second trip back, I think when I see them building this thing, I'm just going to start doing mending. Oh, this is great. Is this what friends do? This is amazing. I love friendship.
That's so cool. I have to give you the
So-
triggers so you can trigger your own spell sounds out. Alright, sure.
Right, right.
There's your mending.
I've
Okay.
come back. The first time round, I came back with a hammer and a sledge, a mess kit, a parchment, a stool, an iron pot, sealing wax, a dagger, silk rope. The second time, I come back with playing cards, a sack, a spear, a jug, 1 day of rations and a blanket, and 10 feet of chain.
A peculiar.
I love that you
very
just pick
strange.
up random stuff. Like you just gone around and just like, that looks cool. I don't know if that's useful. It would be like,
yeah, exactly. Ooh, what's this? I don't know. What's this important gold piece? No, don't do that. Ooh, playing cards.
Ooh.
Exciting.
Found a
jug.
stone. We could
Yeah.
make soup with this.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
It's a sledgehammer. Just to be 100% clear about that.
A
Oh,
sledge.
sledgehammer, not
Yes,
sledge.
not a sledge. Not a sleigh. That's right. That's
But
right.
hang on, we're in the snow. I thought sledge was entirely
I thought it
appropriate.
was
It's like a
too.
mode of transport.
Would have been useful, but
We
no,
found a-
sadly it's not.
Oh,
it's not.
so sorry. Hammer, comma, sledge meant sledgehammer.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay.
that
I thought it
stands
was
out
like-
to me.
A sledge for carrying hammers. You know.
Oh, like a
The
mining
sledgehammer
sledge.
stands out to the dwarf. So when you turn
Yeah.
up with this hammer, just dragging this massive hammer behind you, the dwarf
Well, I
reacts.
think it becomes the bindle. I've got the blanket tied with everything else in it on the sledgehammer. So. Ooh, would you like this?
I look, is it mine? It seems like it's mine.
It looks no,
Oh,
it
it's-
doesn't definitely doesn't look
it's-
like a weapon, and it
It's
doesn't feel
yours
familiar
now.
in your hands. But it's certainly very useful for banging in pegs. But it could
But it-
probably function.
But it feels
It's
feels
yours
like
now.
the shape feels. I'm connected. Like it's not mine, but it is. You know what I mean? Like it's as if like
Yep.
it stirs a memory that I can't quite grasp. But it's
Yeah.
definitely food for thought.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. If you'd like to take that, that would be fine.
When
The
he says food
clothing
for
that-
thought. Sorry, you go, Derek.
Are the things that we're finding?
Yep.
Are they rudimentary? Are they wealthy things? Are they plain things? Are they?
Plain and simple, well loved
Uh-huh.
and well kept and well maintained. There are
But-
many of these objects that have just been destroyed, but these are
Right.
just peculiar things that just happen to be behind a post or sort of behind a rock, or had a tree branch fall on them, or were
Normal
hugged
things.
to the chest of someone. That's right. But
Normal things you find in a
they're-
one town.
That's right, yeah. So it's strange, There's probably would have been dozens of pots. Well, not dozens and dozens. Every family would have had their family pot, but there is an iron pot that sort of has survived. Good enough to still. It's a bit bent out of shape, and the bow just happened to not be snapped. But it is well kept, well oiled. Certainly not old. It hasn't been sitting here for centuries or anything. It's just been dropped on the ground out of someone's hand.
But
Off I
having
go
seen
again.
just
Yep.
how much stuff Murray's finding, Local's decided to go and foster
Excellent.
as well.
Excellent.
In his sort of rough way.
Nice use of Fossick. Ooh,
Excellent. You find
Can
some
I-
things too, Local. Yep.
Can I start to build a fire?
Yes, you can. Now you are building a fire in the basement of a wooden house. So let's actually make some checks for that. Definitely.
I mean, you know, part of my prep was to clear the area and clear a space. But yeah, I don't want to set the place ablaze. I also
the
don't
floor-
want to set a fire. You know, if there's alcohol over the floor,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. either.
Can I come back just as he's getting the tinder ready?
Ooh, nice. Yes. Yep.
Here we go.
Oh, I can help with that. Bonfire, boom, right where Derek wants it. Just enough to push Derek back, but not singe his eyebrows. But
I love it.
and then look around.
Look around for
this is the
approval.
way- Well, this is
Actually-
exactly. This is the way we all light fires, isn't it?
I actually do a back roll and flip to stand up on my feet
Oh,
before I
nice.
even kind of know what's happened.
Oh,
All
that's
right, I see
cool.
that and go, wow, I can't do that. Is that how you light a fire too?
No, it's how I get away from fire.
Oh, why?
That's
Why would?
cool.
Why? Oh, and I will then move the fire with control flames, sort of left and right, dancing, going.
Oh,
Don't you do that too?
that's cool.
No, you are a particular skill.
Skill.
Oh,
Who taught
I
you this?
no one. I've just always done that, doesn't everybody?
That's so cool.
Oh. And for the first time in her life, Orissa felt shame. But it didn't last very long. Oh, you don't light fires that way?
No. No. Well,
That's so cool.
this is very interesting.
Oh, this is very different. I didn't realize we'd all be. I mean, considering we're all different shaped sizes and, well, races, I suppose I should have expected different things. But I wonder what else can you do?
So the dwarf is in the corner, just with increasing force, swinging this sledgehammer through the air in well-controlled arcs.
Ooh. While I hit stones, because it's very meditating for me, can I look out at the horizon, can I see through the storm at the kind of like the impression of the mountains? Can I?
Are you not down in the hole? You're outside still, are you?
Oh, kind of like nearby, just getting rocks and kind of like hitting with the hammer to form something that's useful.
So let's say you'd gone back out and you were planning on breaking down a stone to prop up. Maybe you're going to make a bit of a hearth to stop the fire from burning everyone to death. That sounds like a good idea.
Well, that's the kind of guy I am. But do
That's
I
right.
notice? I'm looking at the horizon, at the mountains.
Yes.
Do they
Yep.
seem familiar to me? Well, I don't look at stars, but I look at because stars mean nothing to me. But the hills, the land, the mountains. Does it spark anything in me? Do I have any connection?
So forest behind you, rising up, not to like mountainous heights, but like to a bulging height. In front of you, facing away, to what, by this look of where the sun is, and the fact that maybe it's going downish soon, is probably south, because the sun is going down on your left-hand side, behind a huge range of mountains, which are to the south, which are over the horizon, but nevertheless rise up well into sight. Snow capped heavily from kind of, like just a third of the way up. And there's a road that heads off to the south and then turns quickly to the west as it heads out of town, where you're just standing there in the street looking
Do
at
I
it.
find the dwarven equivalent of the Northern Star? Do I kind of sense, in the horizon, do I sense the mountain ranges something that is familiar? Do I get even if it's just a gut feeling I have some form of knowledge there?
That's cool.
Because the stars and the
There's-
sun mean nothing to me, but
That's right, yeah.
I'm looking for the three
The mountains.
as much
the
as
stone of the mountains.
Yeah, I can base myself based on where the peaks of the tall mountains that can be seen from most of the land. If I have that knowledge, I'm not sure.
You sense, absolutely, yeah. You sense off somewhere in those mountains is home and familiarity and a warm, well-flued hearth, well stoned and well dug and well maintained.
And are there any smoke piles coming out in the distance? Because I can see the mountains. There's no smoke pills going up anywhere.
No, it's too much white in the air to see that sort of detail.
I go back and tell these guys that tomorrow we can go. I have a sense of my tribe is to the south.
That's cool.
Ooh,
I
tribe.
I pick up the short sword that Johnny found
Excellent.
and run my
did I read out
fingertips
what
over
I
it.
found? I don't think I ever read out what I found. I found a short sword, as Derek mentioned. Sling bullets, crossbow bolts, a shawm, a weaver's tools, and a warm cloak.
A shawm is a musical instrument, much like an oboe, but even more oboe-y soundy. I was going to say
Even
worse,
more
but that's not
oboe-y
really
sounding than an
Even
oboe.
more oboe
A
sound.
reedier
Really
oboe.
loud
You
and more obnoxious oboe.
You'd only find it in a one-town kind of situation, right?
Does the short sword call to me the same way that the sledgehammer called to Nathan?
Yeah, if you like, absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, I pull it out of its sheath and feel its weight. It feels right. And then I put it away and hang it on my belt.
Awesome.
Do I get a sense of, when these collection of items, of what used to be around my home camp before today? Like a blanket and a bedroll, the dagger, the short bow, the arrows. Is that like a sense of this was the stuff that used to make up my day-to-day assemblage of...
No.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. So you don't feel any familiarity with any of these objects.
But I know that I can fire a bow well and wield a dagger. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. You know that you could probably hunt a bird or something to eat. Come to think of it, you're actually all feeling pretty hungry. And you know that you could probably, find a squirrel from quite a long distance, hunt it down, shoot it,
Hit it
you
with a
could put it on
sledgehammer.
Skin it,
fire.
eat it.
So this is all occurring to you. Absolutely. I love that, Murray. This is all sort of occurring to you. And on that spot, as you look at this short bow, you're like, I would really love to put this arrow in something fuzzy and meaty and then skin it and put the meat over that fire, and your mouth starts to water as you think about this.
Detect evil.
I'm going to go out and hunt.
Okay. You just walk off.
No, I think I say that. I'm going to go and hunt. Get us some dinner.
Anyone responds? Say, yep, see you soon. Going to come and help. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Yay!
I'll stay back with the stone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You continue to shore up the shelter. Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I've never hunted with anyone before.
You've got the short bow and the arrows? No.
Yep. Yes.
14
I might
arrows.
bring a spear with me.
Ah, excellent. There is a spear, indeed. Good.
I'm actually going to go out and search the town itself, and I'm particularly looking for documentation or some kind of thing or a map to tell us where we are or what the name of the town is or what place it is in the world. At the same time, looking for food and for general, cured meats or anything like that might be.
Well, we did find one day of rations, but we decided that that's not, rations is when you're desperate.
When you're trekking, yeah.
That's
So
right.
I'm gonna look for
Hard
something a
tack,
little-
etc.
Yeah, look for something a little bit more edibles.
So if the name of a town like this was to be anywhere, where would it be? Where do you think? I mean, I suppose
Any tavern would have a sign or something maybe blown down, or The church?
I mean, it'd probably have a name that's something that, you know, describes where it is, like foothill or, you know, mountainside or something like that.
Population 4.
That's right. Excellent.
Yeah, welcome to a little welcome to sign up.
Yeah.
You know, as on the road on the way in. Do they do that in D&D towns?
I think it sounds quite plausible. Welcome to Talster. Strangers stay away. So I'm putting it in. Yep, there you go. There's the spelling in Discord. Welcome to Talster. So that takes you quite a while to find because things are somewhat obliterated, and maybe you find several letters of this sign and do kind of a bit of a puzzle thing of joining fragments together.
Hacktail. No, maybe.
It's like dinosaur
Now we
bones.
We need some epic sort of hunting. So do people have survival?
Mm-hmm.
See if we can locate something to
I
it.
have nature and survival.
Let's say if you get like a 10, you can find a squirrel, and 15 you can find a kind of a boar, and or not like a tiny boar, and 20 you can find some venison for yourself.
Under 5, you
on
hit
survival.
me.
On survival.
On survival,
How's
yeah.
23, Ben?
Excellent.
I got a 15. I'm very impressed with Orcul's hunting. Wow.
That's super cool. Lorkel seems to sort of slide through the trees like it's his second nature, and the trees seem to bend and guide his very steps. That's fantastic.
What do I find with the 23?
You find a deer. You can indicate to young Eressa a deer just barely visible through the snowy driven hill.
I thank the deer for being there and take aim with my short bow.
That's beautiful. Combat! Go for it.
And that would be, oh gosh, yes, that's a 17 in total.
17. What's
the armor class of a deer?
Don't think it's more than 17, that's for sure. You definitely shoot the deer. Beautiful silent thing. Now, how many hit points does a deer have? Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Like I found an axe, but
4.
4 hit points.
4 hit points a deer has, or 4 hit points damage you do?
A deer has.
I do 1d6, I think, with a short bow.
Yeah. Okay, roll your 1d6.
That would be 4 hit points of damage.
Like a team made in heaven, the deer takes an arrow to the neck, it staggers and gracefully gives up its life.
A team made in friendship, Benjamin.
That's
team
right.
made in friendship.
I hoist it up under one arm around the middle to carry it back.
Friendship.
My other arm's free.
Great! I love friendship.
Friendship literally turned a small, tiny boar into a deer for your hunting trip. That's very, very cool.
with a good dice roll. We're going to come back with dinner and breakfast and lunch.
I like that you left to get a squirrel. You come back with a freaking deer. Like, I just look at it. It's like, we're going to need a bigger fire.
That's right.
You sit there and like, but I'd prepared all the squirrel spices.
That's right.
Yeah. Do we find any
This is not the recipe I was going to make.
Yeah.
Oh,
do we find it? I sort of keep an eye out in the undergrowth.
Or for herbs.
Trees and so on, for herbs and things that might go well with venison.
Bit of parsley, bit of mint, bit of coriander. Give me a survival check for that. Definitely.
Did we just start the Bambi movie?
Did we just kill Bambi?
No, it was a
Bambi's
deer,
mum.
not a doe. Come on, guys.
Then I rolled a crit fail. I rolled a 1.
Oh. Okay, something bad.
I rolled
Something
a 15,
dark.
so I think I can maybe teach him a little bit about forest craft. He might find the animals, but like, no, not those berries. Those berries are bad.
Did you just
Uh-oh.
Did you just brush up against that thing that's now you've got a massive rash on your leg or something?
I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you thrust your hand into a bush to see what it's like. It looks kind of a bit cabbagey. It actually is covered in spines. And they bite into your hands with toxins that stick under the skin and burn. Let's say we give you 1 hit point damage as you pull your hand back and go, not unfortunately, just never quite so fast enough for Oresa to warn you not to touch that bush.
Not
which
those.
is somehow instinct. Yes, that's right.
These.
And,
I got a 15.
yeah.
So I'll get
Yes,
some
good.
time and some basil.
You find some time. You're literally standing there, ready to hold them up and to show him just how excited you are as you just see him pulling back his hand in pain as he takes his bite from this plant.
From the wrong bush. No.
From the wrong bush. Cool. Let's make this hand get redder and redder and more swollen over the next 24 hours. That sounds fantastic.
I love that you have an allergic reaction, like, oh no, pollen.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
a mistake.
anaphylactic.
A mistake, some herb for a stinging nettle or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Honestly,
I love it.
from such a height, it's difficult to see that far down. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
He was carrying a deer at the time. I mean, come on.
Oh dear.
Right.
So that's good. So that you, just as they walk into town, Firbolg, sorry, what's your name? Lorkel carrying a deer under one arm. Was it your left or your right hand? Lorkel?
I guess I was carrying the deer in my right when I reached out.
Yeah, with your left. And you are right-handed, do you think? Okay.
I'm left-handed.
He's your left-handed, yeah. Okay, so he's holding the deer and he's sort of just shaking his hand, kind of like a dog that's got bitten on the nose, sort of trying to just shake away the stinging, the burning. And this is just as you you finally put together these parts of these signs, and it says clearly in a font that makes a whole lot more sense now, Tauster. Welcome to Tauster. Congratulations, you know the name of the place that was obliterated.
It doesn't. Or that we obliterated.
Doesn't
It
that
doesn't-
ring any bell?
Yeah, does it?
Nope. No, not at all.
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
Should we bury the dead? I say, like it's the most exciting thing ever possibly conceived of. After dinner, I'll butcher this deer carcass, and then we can bury the dead on a full stomach.
You need to finish that sentence quickly. Yeah. After dinner, we'll bury the dead. Yes.
Does that make them sleep better? It seems like a lot of effort to go to
it
someone who
honors
isn't going to
them.
benefit from it.
It honors them. Does it?
I'm
not?
gonna.
Do you honor the dead? Is that what you do with the dead? I think you do that to them.
They have returned to the earth from which they sprung. They must now nourish the land and the animals that come after them.
But it is the first step of their next journey. We must treat them with we must lead them on their way.
Do we? What do you do to your dead, Lorkel? They'd be very big.
He says, holding a deer.
I don't know.
Oh, so we can give them and I don't know where this comes from. We can give them a sky burial, which is just leaving them out to be exposed, or bury them.
That is like
or
the worst thing
burn
ever.
them, or put a cairn up over them. How do I know this? No idea.
They will certainly freeze solid probably and stay where they are. They won't be subject to decay, and birds will kind of pick at their icy flesh, presumably. And eventually, when summer comes, this concept you know about somehow instinctually, their frozen corpses will melt, and ravens will pick out their eyeballs, and the worms will eventually infest their bodies and return them to the ground.
This is the way of things. This is natural.
Yeah, I'm taking the dwarf to a mountain. Nope. I could never leave a dwarf. I can never leave one of my own kind with the sky above.
Oh.
That is just how is he meant to travel to the depth of the dwarves travel down to
The
their
dude's going to fall apart if you try and pick him up, man.
How many of your people are here?
That's
I
a
ask
good-
you.
Probably about 3 or 4 you've found in the town out of the 20-ish.
Should we put some stones over your kin?
Is there any looking around, are there any hills going up? Is there kind of like any kind of like natural space at a I'm going to put on
So
my
there's a
Kado
rising
vision.
forest. There's a hill of rising, fir trees, which is kind of that, like a fir tree forest where there's big strong trees and some small ones, and then the ground is all scattered with discarded pine thingies. So there's this pretty open forest up there, being alpine-ish.
But nothing
Like
that I would,
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much like that. Absolutely. And then, to the south of the town is open grassy plains, which are presumably quite full of life. And during the melt, you'll get lots of streams going out across the plain, and then lots and lots of flowers, and animals presumably migrate there. You should know all this instinctually. And then far to the south, maybe 25 miles or so, there's this big stand of mountains just over the horizon.
Well, that's true. I'll just collect stone. I'll start getting the sledgehammer and actually like cracking stones so that they can become and create a small mountain myself.
You can bury them. You can bury them in the remains of the church.
How many more? I'm sorry, I was asking the question in character. How many more corpses are there?
Probably about 18 more corpses. Some in the houses you discover, and some in the street.
Suno, we've got 3 that we're burying in a can. Why don't we divide the remaining 15 up and we'll sky bury 5? We'll put a pyre for 5 more, and then we can bury the last 5, and then we've taken care of all of the dead in a way that's appropriate to someone somewhere.
That's cool.
What?
Sure.
You certainly find the thought, Derek, of only having to dig 5 deep holes much more appealing than the thought of digging 20 deep holes.
The other thing is, we're in permafrost here, I imagine, so digging the ground is hard work.
Yeah, it'll be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, we could find another basement and make a mausoleum.
What?
There are,
Can I just ask the dwarf, as a religious seeker, what do you think we should do?
We need to bury them, cover them, or otherwise they will not reach their destination. And what is a sky burial? I look at him. I have not been able to hear most of the conversation because you said sky burial, and that is like
That's
everything.
terrifying.
That's like putting 2 words together and going, that just ended much worse.
Well, that's what our friend Suno was talking about. A sky burial is where you leave the corpse exposed and it turns back to nature through birds eating and animals eating it, and then its bones are exposed, like elephants. Oh, I know an elephant. What?
that's super cool.
Oh.
As this happens,
Ben?
I see his hand is all sore from the swelling, and I'm just going to start radiating energy, as if underneath my beard, like a lava going underneath. It's my hands start, and I come over and I start grabbing his hand.
But we can bury them however you like. Don't get upset. Don't get upset.
Are you going to try and cure the wound or cure the disease?
I'm going to use lay on hands to kind of like cure the pain.
Hit points damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it'll work, but it's something.
Yep. This radiant. So you are at first afraid, Eressa, but then a beautiful thing. So it must be good, I suppose.
A friendly
radiates
thing.
out
A friendly
of
thing.
a friendly thing. That's right,
I
out of the
learned.
dwarf's hand. And Furball, basically, you do this, Nathan, because he's just there going and sort of rubbing it, and worse and worse and worse. And it does relieve some of the pain. It doesn't take away the swelling, though. I'm very, very on that one. I think we could definitely go with some bad swelling at some point.
Someone's not
some
sleeping well.
Do I get
That's
my
right.
hit point?
You get your hit point back, though.
Yeah.
That's right. So you, you cook up this venison. You obviously have to to get dinner in time-ish. You cut it into relatively small strips or something like that. Someone knows how to butcher it, I suppose. And,
I'm good with feasts. I'm like
Okay, excellent.
Isn't that just the devouring? Isn't that just the eating of it rather than the prepping of it?
yeah, but I've seen people do it. Like, I have a sense of like everything is, the portions are so large, and they're like, as if this is like, I'm very, very at home in the creating I'm not good at small rations. I'm good at huge rations, and you kind of get the sense that I'm like, I split this deer into 3 or 4 parts and then started cooking it, not like butchering it down properly. I just cook it up in large sections, and it feels like that feels at home for me.
Everyone give me insight checks. And sorry, except Nathan's character, obviously.
15. 15 from me.
12.
A 17 for me.
17. Okay, so to your character, Derek, and also to your character, Murray, it is very peculiar, this dwarf shot in a cassock with clearly the stoneworking tools, the hammer and the chisel. Having seen the way he fairly clumsily has been pushing these boulders out, smashing them with this wildly swinging hammer, which, although it's powerful and probably deadly looking, isn't splitting the stones in beautiful straight lines or anything like that. But seeing him butcher this deer, it's like he's like a duck on water, like a pig in poo kind of. He's found it looks so much more natural and able. He indeed perhaps indeed is someone who prepares feasts fairly regularly.
Are you a chef? Are you a chef?
I look at the food like on a spike over the fire and being like, maybe. And nobody's tried the food yet, but I feel pretty confident in I found something maybe about myself. So
you have a hankering for alcohol too. I mean, not really. This venison would go perfectly with a thick mead or a beer. But despite some extended searches, while other people, Lorkel and
going cold turkey,
he's a multi-class.
Were digging graves. You still never managed to find any alcohol.
He's a multi-class chef sommelier.
Like a
Wow,
dwarf in the mountains.
very
That's
interesting.
Fantastic. I love it.
What?
Randolph.
A sommelier what?
A sommelier. I have no idea how I know that word.
So you pass the evening. You do have a good feed and a decent fire, but you don't have a particularly well sealed up basement. You have
one
some
blanket to
degree of
share.
protection. Yeah,
We've got one blanket to share between 4.
That's right. One blanket to share.
And I built a
You
really
have a
good stone
bedroll
wall.
as well.
Yeah, well, not good enough. The wind does blow the blanket aside several times, in the middle of the night, just when you are sort of drifting off. Some of the stones slip out of the way, not particularly well constructed even by a dwarf who should know that kind of thing. There's clattering down of beams as the whole thing gives way, kind of at about 2 a.m. in the morning, just when you're starting to feel angry. And it's pretty much just normal camping. If anyone's gone camping in their life, then you'll know how hideous it can be.
Yeah.
As snow trickles in, and
are you saying we don't get a long rest? That sounds very much like a DM saying you don't get a long rest.
I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I just snore really bad. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that wasn't me angling for you avoiding a long rest. I'm going to give you a long rest. That's fine. But you do feel somewhat exhausted in the morning, so maybe I'll give you disadvantage a couple of times on something that might need concentration.
We did
the long and the short of it is it's shelter, which is fine, but not particularly brilliant for a long-term solution. You decide, you go to bed thinking life is fine, life is wonderful. We have venison, we have a fireplace, we've got shelter. I'm not currently having snow fall on me, and the wind sounds like something slightly intimidatingly and mounting, but outside. And by the end of by the time the morning light starts to crack through the wholly torn blanket, you're fairly convinced you don't want to live in this hellhole for one more night.
No.
Unless, proper walls or a properly built cot, in a tree.
Faradis said he knew the direction of his people, didn't he?
Yes.
I know. I can sense over there. My tribe. They live in the mountains. It
More
looks
friends.
familiar. I'm not sure. Maybe unless you guys know what you want.
What about you, Suno? What do you want to do?
I am from a very far away place from here. If we can help the dwarf find...
I point into...
I don't know how I know that. I just sense that I have travelled a long way. If the dwarf knows of people close by, I will help him find them.
I know no one except you three. You're my friends. Excellent. What about you, Local?
I will go to the mountain.
So then we are set.
Certainly a clue for your character, Derek, is that there are no Kalashtar fallen at all in this town. Indeed, there are no Furbolgs either, but kind of, they're known for being somewhat sort of solitary.
Any other half-elves?
There are half-elves, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm.
Do I know what would be most appropriate for a half-elf? To bury
Yeah.
funeral pyre?
Yeah, probably a funeral pyre. Maybe the half-elves are the one you burn. Yes, like Jedi kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful.
Or
If
indeed,
some would,
like elves.
like half-elves, that's right, yes.
I'm going to, just so you know, I'm going to bury my 3 dwarven comrades or family. I don't know. They were like me, especially the one that gave me his cloak. And I'm going to leave the sledgehammer on top of this small mountain I've made, and left as if like a tombstone, this sledgehammer on top of this pile
You're
of
going to
rubble.
leave the sledgehammer? You're really going to leave the sledgehammer?
It seems that that's what I should do, as if to mark them, as in, this isn't rubble, this is a place where people are to delve deeper.
Yeah.
They need it to delve
Okay.
deeper into the afterlife.
Okay,
Right.
that's cool.
I hand you my axe as we leave the town with, strips of venison carried for good eating purposes. And I think
Nice.
before I go, I'm going to gather everything we've got,
Yep.
including finding the dice that were rudely discarded over the shoulder of Suno. And I'm going to put them all into a giant Furbolg sound bindle and look up at Lorcal expectantly going,
Local's hand is like the size of me.
And then you need to like pitifully kind of drag it.
This is so heavy.
I don't know if I've learned the arts of emotional manipulation.
Yeah, that's the
Could
next one.
you, I say,
Is Local going to help? Or is he?
I don't know whether locals realize what the hint is.
do you think you could carry all of this on this specially prepared branch I've got for you?
Yes, I can do that.
Excellent.
Gorgeous.
We have a giant single bindle with all our stuff.
One of
Is
the,
anyone collecting? Sorry, you go, Johnny.
I was just going to say one of the great racial traits playing a Firbolg is that they can carry as much as a large creature, even though they're only technically a medium.
Nice.
So this is nothing.
That's so cool. Is anyone collecting coins? There have been various coins that people have come across. I know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea what coins are or are for.
Coins,
we
runes,
have
and rocks.
So amongst scattered amongst the items in this ultimate swag or bindle or Matilda that Furbo's carrying quite naturally and easily. 32 silver pieces and 43 copper pieces. Just by the way,
Okay.
we're looking at finishing our game very soon. Do we need to for you, Johnny, or when do we need to go to?
Yeah, soonish.
Soonish?
How much more do you have for us?
I could certainly run on about 10 minutes and then we can stop at a reasonably exciting moment.
Ooh.
Okay, good. We'll just keep going. Does anyone need a break, please?
All
No?
good.
Anyone in
Okay,
the chat?
good.
You all good, buddies?
All good? Yeah.
How long's your lunch break? There?
How much did we pick up? All right. So you have 2 roads. One heads off to the north, and most of your instincts would suggest that this is you must be in. More ice and coldness to the north, and less ice and coldness to the south. Are you heading away from
Where are the mountains?
Yeah,
cold? The mountains are
towards-
to the south. That's right. You're going to the mountains. Yes. You
Yeah.
already established that.
I'm not heading towards
Excellent.
the plains and open sky.
We are
You think
in
I am?
mountain
An
world.
elf? Not that I would know what an elf is, but you know. Except
So
for
you
him.
trudge out of the once was town. What was it called?
Talcha.
Talcha. Past the sign, "Welcome to Talcha," lying laid out on the melted cobblestones of the main street. In fact, the only street. The bodies are cleared from the street, which is very considerate of you. There's smoke rising still from some of the pyres, from the approximately 5 pyres. There's cans inside the ruined stone church, and there's exhaustingly dug and refilled holes with bodies up in the near the forest. And then there's some bodies laid out, aren't there, within the trees, so their souls can clamber up the stalks and enter the leaves and float off into the heavens that way, as elves have due. You set out along the road to the south.
As we go,
Yes.
I'm kind of keeping an eye out for the plant growing beside the road. See if I can find something that might be able to cure the swelling of my hand.
So your hand, your left hand, your main hand is indeed swollen quite badly. It's red and the skin is stretched.
I seem to have good knowledge of various herbs.
Good.
There.
Do you want to give me a survival check then, for sure?
I rolled another one.
Oh my God.
You rubbed it with your other hand to get it better, and now both hands as well.
I think you go through the theory that more of the bad thing is a good thing.
Oh,
Cancel each
Oh my
other out.
god! So what
Can
else? So what else happens? That's kind of
You
we did
rub
say
your
GM
eye.
intrusions, didn't we? Which is the system we all love. So you indeed. What happens? You either take it and get an inspiration point, or you.
We don't have to do that whole mechanic.
No,
It's
which
more
is kind
that
of cool though.
you can just
Something
make
bad happens.
something bad happen.
Yeah. What more bad could happen to Furbolg?
I think
Right,
it rubs
to
his
hand.
eye.
To everyone.
Oh,
It could be that I
that's
wander
true.
off into the forest and come across
Random
something
encounter
or-
table.
No.
Random encounter table, Benjamin.
please don't rub your eye. That
Come
makes
on.
it worse.
Like as I'm fossicking and looking for things, I leave the road and
In fact,
Like
let's
something happened.
let's have that drive the story forward. That's an even better thing. You wander off, and people barely notice that you've actually wandered off, because you do move very silently through the snow, as if it's a favored terrain of wildness, and pretty quickly you hear an utterance from Lorcal, kind of like, oh, and you all quickly realize he's not there and head off the road following his copiously sized footsteps. And you find him standing on the edge of a crater.
Is there another one?
And lying face down in the crater is what looks like a no, that's right. No, not lying. Let's say not lying. Let's say crouched in the crater is what looks like a young female human, wildly looking around. Her hair is copious, like insanely copious, covering up her in fact like clothes. It's covered in snow, as if she's been sort of scrabbling or trying to work out what to do for quite an amount of time, and she's shivering, and that's what you spot Lorcal was as the rest of your party, the rest of your friends turn up at kind of your shoulder. What do you do?
Is she a friend?
We found a warm cloak, right?
She looks up suddenly and stands, rising kind of imperiously,
Ooh, I'm going to detect good or evil.
Idea.
You detect good or evil, yes?
Yeah, that's not the exact wording. I'm going to divine sense.
Divine sense, what does that do for you?
As an action, you can detect good or evil. Until the end of the turn, you sense anything affected by a hallow spell or a location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within the area. But yeah.
Okay, so sort of the presence of sort of celestials or fiends or kind of incursions from other...
And just generally just a holy sense. Like my holy gut feeling.
Yeah.
Holy
I
gut
love
feeling.
it. Holy gut
Picking up
feeling.
on the vibe.
Yeah, it's the vibe of the thing.
There's not from her. There's strange spiritual goings on around the edges of this crater, and in fact, you can see these tendrils of kind of blackness just wisping around the edge of the crater, as if they're trying to penetrate the space around this creature.
I'm gonna put my arm out and be like, be warned. This isn't quite right.
Not a friend?
Not
I
quite.
say.
She looks up at you and she puts her shoulders back, her golden hair sort of draped over her, and she just says,
"Attend to me."
and then waits.
I hand her a cloak.
So you're on the edge of the crater, yeah? You walk forward with a cloak.
Yeah.
You sort of, one of the blankets you've kind of bundled up, you grab and pull out, yeah?
Yeah, Johnny found a warm cloak. I was going to hand her that.
Okay, good. I like that. You walk towards her and she just stands there waiting as if she's royalty. And you just sort of drape it around her and she doesn't resist.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls it close and then flicks her hair and then puts her hands through her hair and flicks out her hair so that it tumbles over.
Is she injured?
I'm going to mimic all of her standing, and because I've got long blonde hair too, so I'm like, oh. So quite clumsily, going, wow, this is what an interesting thing to do with your body.
Excellent. Physical power. I love it. She looks around you as if she's regarding her court. It's very strange. I mean, she looks like she's 14 or something, but yeah, she's not that tall. But she's standing like she's sort of 12 feet tall.
I am Suna. This is my friend Lorkel, Farandus, and Aressa.
Yes. Who are you?
She looks a bit shocked that you spoke, and but then she sort of chokes for a little bit, and then she looks around a little and she just says,
"You do not know who I am?"
No.
Well, do you know who we are?
Of course I do not know who you are.
Oh,
You are
well, that's-
more mere insignificant mortals.
Oh, that doesn't sound friendly. That's not the way we spoke to each other.
No, it
Even you, Faradus, didn't speak that way.
We are heading to the mountains yonder. You are welcome to follow, if you like.
I love it. She says,
Follow? Will you not bear me on a litter?
No.
just her eyes swing to the dwarf, and they narrow, and you can see kind of righteous power start to bubble up in her expression, as if she's going to manifest something.
What's
or
a
other.
litter? What's a litter?
That's right. And then you say that, and she turns to the half elf, and you see a smile just appear on the edges of her lips, and she starts
friendly smile,
sort of, as if regarding a puppy or something.
Okay. Open-minded.
Yep, that's right. Yes, nice
Ben,
evil dice monkey.
I'm going to look at her and say, we already carry with us the weight of the dead. You are welcome to come along, but we will not bear your burden too.
Ooh, I don't think I would have said it like that, but nice.
She looks very sort of confused, and then you actually see her literally glance at these black tendrils, which are kind of held back and approaching, but seem repelled from all of you. And you see her look around, and then she looks down at her hands, and then she looks up again at your character Murray. And she looks at the Firbolg, and you see she sort of just goes inside her head, as if she's rattling around for a memory. And she says,
I will travel with you. We must find my church. I feel something is amiss.
What is the name of your church?
Why? Of course, the church of Aostra. My church. Do you truly not recognize me? Now you all...
now you all know this god. She's a powerful female deity.
Oh.
Aostra. She is depicted as an angel of enormous power, a beautiful grown woman, tall, indeed blonde hair, wings, shards of light shooting out from her. She's sort of a very powerful deity that is a source of good and healing. This girl doesn't look anything like a deity.
I have no idea who that is.
No. Okay. Yeah. No, you wouldn't have come across her. The paladin certainly would.
Yeah. Can I roll religion on it just to kind of get a feel of?
Yes. Absolutely. I think that definitely your one would as well, Derek.
Yep.
5.
Probably not the Firbolg, I suppose. Although
Yeah.
This feels like a non-friend, like a coming with us, but not like I don't want to hold her hand.
Yeah.
What's that called?
A disappointment.
I got a 16.
Okay, yeah. So you know this god. She's worshipped. Her followers are powerful. They're often a place of refuge where people take. They're hurting and they're sick. They're clerics. This god's clerics can cure disease. Firbolg has a rather swollen hand.
What would be the negative side of them?
Yeah.
Because they're not one of the three.
From a dwarf's point of view?
Yeah, they're not one of the three dwarven gods, so.
I love it. Yeah, let's say they're intolerant of other religions and probably of dwarves in general. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, and maybe don't like the way they operate in societies, drawing power and wealth to themselves.
Local says, "Are you a priest or?"
She draws herself up again, wide-eyed, her enormous childlike eyes, and she just says,
I am Aostra. How dare you question me?
I'm going to mimic her exactly and go,
No,
I am Eressa. How dare you not be friendly?
no, I am Spartacus.
Wow. She narrows her eyes at you.
Could I?
And she seems lost. The way you're all behaving seems completely confusing to her.
I've never met a god before.
I look at her directly in the eyes and go, and I am the bearded one. Come on, let's get out of here. The bearded one being
Wow.
my god of, as if like.
So you're kind of, you're claiming to be your god just because you're a dwarf. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just claiming that like you're not your god, clearly, and so. Well, if you're her, I'm the bearded one. Like,
Let's
We
have a
need to travel to the
Trinitarian debate,
mountains.
everybody.
Yeah, sort of a dismissive, sarcastic.
yeah, as if like, yeah, right.
As if you're really a god. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're really a god, then I'm the bearded one, and this one here is you know.
Yeah, a turtle and a fly, and yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Give me insight checks. Probably Derek and Johnny.
Do
Because
that.
you're not kind of
Five?
because you were kind of ooh
14.
14.
Yeah.
So you notice across her face is an act that she's got going here. Is she deluded? She clearly seems on some level to think that she's this goddess, though clearly physically she's not kind of resembling it. But then you also see crashing over her face, just as micro expressions, true kind of shock and doubt, being directly challenged by the dwarf. And she once again just looks down at her hands, and then she clenches her hands, and they just throb. As I don't know whether she's trying to make them work or something, or blow you all up or something. And then she slowly draws her fingers apart. You can see red marks from her nails where they've pressed into her palms.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Very well." Whoops, hang on.
Oh,
Very well. I will travel with you. Which way are we going?
We head towards the mountains.
Well, it's worked before. I'm going to walk down and offer her my hand and go, come on then, friend.
Oh, the goal.
yeah.
Excellent.
Say no to the super innocent one. Go on, man.
So so let's end tonight there, because that's just absolutely totally brilliant. She looks at you with her head on a tilt, and as initially as if she's kind of some kind of royalty reaching out a hand to touch a lowly one. She reaches out despite kind of her revulsion, and then her fingers touch yours.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an electric warmth similar to the feeling you felt with your comrades, and you see a look of shock and sort of almost half recognition flood over her face, and then she just smiles a most glorious smile, and you feel and you know that you have indeed perhaps found another friend.
Come on, friend. Let's head south.
Awesome. And you
Don't
walk
fall
off
behind.
out of the crater, repelled by the irresistible forces of friendship and indeed perhaps even love. The black tendrils withdraw finally and dissolve and scatter. You re-find the road and head off to the south.
I look back at the tendrils as if like, just a wayward glance to make sure that they're not being followed, as if I've got like a bad feeling about this.
Definitely.
Glass.
You definitely have a bad feeling about the tendrils. Cool. And that's where we shall leave it, walking off towards the mountains to the south, and for more adventure and more to be revealed in the future. Yay!
Interesting.
Congratulations, everyone. That was spectacularly awesome. Interesting.
Woo! Wow.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you
Very
very
cool.
much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So this is our new adventure. Ben, you want to give a bit of a description about what we're doing and why it's all the way it is, and just a quick rundown of where this is going and leading.
We really want to all tell a story together that we're all telling together. That's not a module that we're just reading, because we have realized that we're all best at dungeon mastering when we're making our own stuff, especially when we're bouncing feelings and ideas off each other, and particularly when John is involved in the creative process. This whole adventure was devised with John, who has amazing and fantastic ideas. So thank you for your help, John, and we're very sad that you weren't with us, and we're looking forward to when you'll be with us. But frankly, introducing a new character is far more interesting. So it'll be nice when we add you into the mix. And so we'll be playing this campaign. The idea is to make each of the adventures visitable as kind of standalone episodes, like a television series, but linking with a massive long arc that covers the whole thing. And we'll see where these characters end up.
If you have any good ideas, make sure that you do send it to us in chat or messages, because we love your feedback, and anything that you can kind of send it through to us. This is a growing story. It's growing with the community and us and the storytelling and all that kind of stuff. So if you have any ideas or stuff that you want to incorporate into this adventure, this is the adventure which we would love to have your feedback in on. So make sure that you do give us that, and we'll be able to go from there.
We have
and tell people to watch this. Sorry, you go, Johnny.
I was just going to say we have a Discord for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Vanderhoof.
The jump on the Discord. Yes.
Dice Stormer fans.
And go tell people about this first episode. This is the start of a campaign, so people will, if you think anyone who might be interested in seeing this first session, once it's up on YouTube or whatever, maybe we'll tweet about that. So share those things, and tell people just to check it out, see if they want to jump on board with us and tell an amazing story. Because with role-playing quality and storytelling quality like that, from people who had no idea what was going on with the story, I suspect it's going to be quite extraordinary and amazing, emotional and beautiful and epic journey, which goes into cool places.
Evil Dice Monkey, thanks for putting that in Discord. That's our Discord, so join up if you... And we look forward to hearing and seeing you guys. We'll probably be doing this next week, or hopefully.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, the
fantastic.
gentleman. I'm assuming that's how you say that, without a vowel.
Yes. Yes. That's the people's tags.
But like hieroglyphics, really. Oh, we guessed the vowels.
Yes, that's right.
Glorious.
Yeah. Fantastic. Good. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna record a recap, which we're gonna broadcast next week, which should be called like last time on the Dice Stormers. So that'll be fun.
Oh, should we do that live? No, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Should we do that?
Secret.
Do it secret.
Do you want to do a secret, or do you want to do it live? It's up to you.
I know we could do it now. Let's just make it as quick as possible. Last week on the Dice Stormers, the PCs turned up. Oh, sorry.
Oh, we got to get a nice close up.
Here we go.
Last week on the Dice Stormers, the PCs found themselves in a completely and utterly destroyed town. It became vaguely, strangely, and disturbingly clear that perhaps they were somehow related to the destruction of the town. The PCs met each other and made friends under the guidance of the gorgeous, gorgeous characters, and particularly Murray's fantastic character. They managed to strip the bodies of their clothes, to clothe themselves against the warmth, passed an uncomfortable night in the destroyed basement. They did, however, have a fantastic feed of deer, headed out into the wilds, and discovered a girl who clearly seems to think she's some kind of reasonably powerful deity. What happens next?
We're about to find out. See you guys.
Yay! Awesome. Bye.
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 Thank you.
Yay.
1 sec.
Woo. I'll put on some music.